Do you love it?
Welcome back to Andertons TV. Holy moly, this has taken us.
It's better be good, man. This better be good.
So, me and Oz have wired this up because obviously Pete wasn't allowed to take part in the wiring uppy bit.
Oh, that's such a shame.
Yeah, exactly. So Pete's had a nice morning. Right, here's the angle of this video. That intro bit, by the way, you just heard 6 different chords. And each chord was played through either one of the pedals that I've got behind this security screen here, or straight into the amplifier, okay? So you don't know what you heard, Pete doesn't know what he heard, I've forgotten what you've heard. But basically, that was it. So the concept here is, when we're using these sort of amp in a box type pedals, we're always talking about plugging them straight into the interface and then hearing them with an IR through some speakers. Yeah. And we've never done a comparison where we just use the same IR on everything. So of course there's always a sense of, it might not be the pedal that you like better or worse or whatever, it might just be the IR. So I'm trying to eliminate that. And also, I just want everything to come out through a normal guitar speaker. So here's the rig. We've got here a Marshall Studio Vintage head, right? Which is their sort of like 20-watt replica of the classic Marshall 959 Plexi. And one of the settings that you're hearing is that, and it's going into this Victory cab at the bottom here, which is loaded with a Celestion Alnico Gold. Right? The other 5 sounds that you're hearing are pedal that claims to make a Marshall sound, with the cabinet emulation switched off, going into the power section of the Studio Vintage. Now, we had to use a combo because, annoyingly, we didn't have 2 heads in stock, but essentially, we have disconnected the internal speaker here. We're running into the effects loop return, and then we're running the speaker output here into the Victory cab underneath. So you're essentially hearing 2 completely identical power sections. One running the pedals, one is the amplifier. Yeah. And then Oz and I spent a little bit of time trying to set the pedals so that everything felt like it was in a ballpark. Interestingly, I think if you do hear a difference as we go through them, it's because that's the closest we could get, right?
But that doesn't mean that it could be 2 different Marshall amps.
For sure, absolutely. In no particular order, so that you can see what we've got, or so that you know what's behind the screen. One is a UAD Lion, one is a DSM Simplifier X on its hot rod channel, one is a Friedman IRX, one is a Nux Amp Academy set again to its blues breakery sort of modern setting, and the last is a Strymon Iridium.
Am I right saying on that Friedman X it says in small letters sort of on the side, please like and subscribe?
It does as well. Well, this button says please like and subscribe, and the middle button says if every 10,000 new subscribers I missed that. You win pedals, and the last one says when we get to 1 million subscribers you win a Klon. Thank you, Friedman, for adding that informative text to your pedals. We have also as well, you can't see it on the floor, I've got 2 Strymon Blue Sky Mark IIs on the floor here, both set identically, so there is a teeny weeny bit of reverb, and the idea is one of the pedals is through the effects loop of the amplifier and the other pedal is at the end of the chain of these things here. Mother! Right, so Mr. I suppose the objective here is...
What is the objective?
Yeah, what is the objective, right? Is it obvious which one the real amp is? All right, so we are filming this overhead. We will reveal at the end which is the obvious one. So let's start with. Let's start with our very. I just want to do round. I'm going to press lots of switches at the same time just to eliminate any sense they might know what. So we're starting with the first one.
Yeah.
When this is revealed on the overhead camera, you will see that I'm using a gig rig quartermaster to switch between them. I'm going to pretend like I'm at school and I have to write here. You can't
This is going to be so difficult, but let's see. Whatever it is, I don't think it's a real amp.
Okay.
Sounds a bit plasticky.
Sounds a bit, this is what I like. Sounds a bit plasticky.
Does that make sense when you say plasticky? It's like a toy that is not a wooden toy, but it's like made out of cheap plastic. It's like the toys you buy when you're on holiday in like Mallorca and the kids wants the toys from those shops and you know it's just going to be really worse than, you know, it looks like...
Wow.
Do you know what I mean though?
Yeah.
It looks like a transformer, but it's a transformer. You put it out, take it out of the thing, it's just cheap,
Well,
thin plastic.
the R&D team at that company are all just delighted with that. So, can you? I think we're talking.
It's got a cardboardy feel to the. See what I mean? I mean, whatever happens here, I'm sorry in advance because I will offend probably
That's great.
the majority of all people here.
Offensive Pete. Could we just? My sort of feel with this is if there's going to be a tell, it's either going to be a latency feel tell or a tonal tell, or there is no tell. What are you? And you've got a pedal on the floor, by the way, if you want to dump like something over the top.
Yeah. So. I just don't think it sounds great. I just don't think it sounds good. In my opinion, it might sound great for you guys out there, and if you have one of these, I do apologise.
Well, look, I'm going to just...
Actually, I don't apologise because it's your choice.
Right, let's try let's try another one on my special pedal. I'm going to press lots of buttons here.
Let's
Okay, here's another one.
There's no latency in either of these two so far. It sounds better. It doesn't sound plasticky like that at all. It sounds more amp-like. It's got I like that when you play it softly. Like you would expect with an amp that's slightly on the breakup when you play it less with your pick.
Yep.
There's not as much gains as if you. Whether it's a real amp or not, I wouldn't be able to tell you right now.
Well, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you that very question.
I mean, it could very well be an amp.
Could be.
It could be an amp. It's got a nice, as I say, it's got a nice. Take me down to the paradise. I also say I am familiar with the Plexi as an amp, but I haven't used it and played it, so I'm not, you know what I mean? It's not my everyday amp, so.
Well.
But I like it. I like that. That sounds all right.
Good.
Sounds all right.
Well, look, just to recap for our viewers here, you should be doing the same. You should be writing down what you think. What did you think the first one was, the second one was, all the way through. And then when we get to the end, you're going to write your answers in the comment section, no cheating, and then we're going to reveal. Yeah. Right. Let's try our third guitar amplifier.
Mm-hmm. See, that's got that again. It's less plastic than the first one. So the low end is.
You've got a pedal on the floor if you want to use it. I'm just saying, it's a shame to not, you know.
Could you go back to the one before, if you don't mind, and because I didn't put the pedal on that.
You're right, you didn't.
no, I
I'm
didn't.
going back to the one before. It's okay. I've got a way of doing this.
Is that the one from before?
Exactly. You can't even tell, but yes, it is.
And back to the other one?
Back to the other one. That is hard.
It's hard, but it's got a different low end where it's kind of like that in the low end.
Can't spell that.
It's not.
Can you spell that? THSH.
It's not. It's a bit digitally floppy, but I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like almost like it
the
going.
one you're playing right now, you're saying that about, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, as far, I think number 2 is the amp as far as it goes, but I mean, it could be flipping wrong, couldn't
No,
I?
that's cool. Right, moving on.
Yeah,
moving on.
moving
on. We've moved on.
Again, it's got this raspy. That's what I don't like about that, whether it's just overall the margin. It's an ugly distortion. It's an ugly overdrive. I mean, and you can't blame the speaker because that's a gold.
I mean, you can blame me because I dialed them in, but then Oz has to take responsibility too.
I don't like this one. You see what I mean? It's just got a broken sound to it. It's like, I know that gain is the way it's just, but it just sounds broken.
You don't think that's like an old Marshall vibe? That sort of slightly broken...
If it's a JTM 45 that you really crank up, it gets that broken, like a Fender Princeton when you turn it up over 3. You know, when you turn it all the way up, it's got a broken sort of sound to it, which is a different sound, but I don't think that Plexi has that. It's not that ugly gain.
You want to move
ugly.
on?
Yeah, I'd
Next
like
one?
to move on. It's ugly. like this better. This sounds good. Whatever it is. It's got the master thing, but there's something that is a bit more realistic in the sound. And the way when you play it, the way that it comes out from your fingers and your pick into the amp. It's still got a little bit of a... Oh, that's something. A fakeness.
What are you saying? That word fakeness?
It's a little bit of fakeness.
Fakeness.
It's a fakeness.
That's a song.
Because
your fakeness is my weakness.
It's my wokeness.
Your wokeness.
I like it. I like that. There's nothing wrong with it. I would use that as a Marshall amp if I had to. I would be happy with it.
So, last one?
Last one, yeah.
Last one. How are you getting on? I hope you're keeping notes. I think what we'll do is we'll do a second pass through with the Telecaster, and then
Okay.
I'm really going to ask you to go, right, so which one is which? So here we go. In 3, 2, 1, whoosh!
More gain than the others, this one.
Has it?
It's a pedal on.
No. You know what?
My God!
Is there a general consensus there's more gain? Because of course I can't adjust it without giving away whether I'm standing over here or doing over here. But what we might do then, if you really think there's more gain, is
Maybe there's not.
In
Maybe-
the cut where we go to the Telecaster, I'll make the adjustment. but
Okay.
We'll edit that out.
I like this. I like that.
I like
would
that.
say
Not a lot.
that it's definitely, probably. I mean, I think it's a little bit too. It's got a bit too more gain than the others, but
In the cut when we go over, I will dial back maybe I'll be dialing it back over here. Maybe I'll be dialing it back over here. We'll have to find out at the end.
Could you do me a flavour?
Yes.
Could you do this and then I think number 2 that you put in, which I thought was the real amp at the
Yeah,
time,
I
right?
can switch between those two.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Have you switched?
I have, yes.
Wow, they sound so similar, man.
So if I
Holy
switch back again, then does it sound like there is more gain? So
No,
you're-
it doesn't. And back again.
Nat's ass. No, I don't think there is anything. I think it's in your
No,
mind.
there's no difference between those two. They sound so similar. Holy shit,
write
man.
that down.
They sound so similar.
Similar.
And then can you do it for number 4? Because I think that was the other one I thought could be potentially.
I'm just going to say to you that your comments about number 4 was that it's an ugly distortion, ugly overdrive.
Right,
so
okay, what's number 5 then?
So you think, oh yeah, 5 was one you said you liked.
Yeah, so
better.
2, 5, and 6.
Ah, that's my favourite chord progression.
Okay, number 5. It's so similar, man. Okay, number 6. Okay, number 2 again. Oh man, honestly.
Let's try the Telecaster.
Honestly.
Let's try the Telecaster.
Okay. I got the Telecaster now.
We are now going to do a slightly more rapid run through in the same order. So you need to start preparing what you're going to say in the comments section.
And of course they know what it is. And you know.
Well, unless
in
you've cheated. Yeah.
Well, they know.
I don't know how we can.
Everybody out there, they know. They know already. You know,
Right.
you have to make sure that that we know they are more clever than we are.
Here we go.
Yeah, I don't like this one. Was that number 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. Okay.
Wow. Okay. Number 2.
Okay.
Number 3.
Again. Oh man, that's probably the amp, isn't it?
You didn't really say anything about number 2, and then you've just gone, man. I don't know. You tell me. What is it? What do you feel?
I have to be completely honest. It is so difficult. It is unbelievably
Well, they know that. They're
difficult.
listening.
I
mean, it's always interesting, again, that it never ceases to amaze me how it does vary listening in a room versus listening back to what the close mics have picked up. Sometimes there's more difference on the close mics than there is necessarily in the room, but whatever. You know,
we'll figure it
that's
out.
That's not really the point of this, is it? Is like, which one do you think is the real amp?
Sounds good, that though. But I didn't like that before, did I? That's funny.
What did you say before? You said before it's less plastically than the first one, but it's digitally flubby. Is what you said.
It probably isn't. Is this the second one?
This is the third one.
It just goes to show how different the guitar makes it, right? Yeah, I don't think it's the amp, but I could be wrong. But I could be wrong. Please put that in. Because it could be the amp.
I should learn to write shorthand, but I could be wrong. Number 4!
Number 4! Yeah, I don't think that's the real amp. You see, this sounds weak. It sounds weak and like a play toy, like a toy. It sounds like a toy. It sounds like a little tiny little amp.
It's all right. Jim Marshall just turned in his grave. It's fine.
Ah, you turned in his grave, whatever.
Right, you want to go number 5?
I do like that sound. Was that 4 or was that 5?
That's 5.
Yeah, I do like this. I mean, number 2, number 5, and then now number 6. Those are the 3 that I struggle with telling, but I think one of those 3 are the amp if it's not number 3.
Let me just do it right. Here's the last one. Whoosh.
It's almost like it's more Marshall than Marshall. Does that make sense? This number 6 is more. I think it's number 5, man. Can I have number 5 again? And number 2 again?
Oh, no, sorry. Whoa. That's number 1. I apologise.
All right, yeah. Wow. It's got an unnatural low end now with this guitar. Can you hear this? Go to 5, please.
Yeah.
Now that's got a natural low end. Wow. I give up. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Wow, look. I love it. Okay, so...
I know it's... I don't think it's number 1.
Right,
and I don't think it's number 4.
I think you should just pick one, and then you guys should write your comments in, and then we'll talk about what you said. Or shall I talk about what you said and then you pick one?
No. 5.
He thinks it's number 5. So the winner is number 5. Okay.
But I don't... I honestly... I don't think that I'm right.
What was the... Massive... I'm sorry, Your Honour. I'm completely guilty, but I definitely didn't do it. Yes. Right. Okay.
Because it's so difficult.
Take your blindfold off. You got has all written your stuff. Okay. So,
impossible, man. Honestly, my eyes are... Oh God.
You can see now on overhead cam. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, as in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then at some point during that 5, I interrupted and pressed this switch, which completely bypasses all this and just plugs straight into the amplifier.
Yeah.
All right, so you just don't know whether I did it right at the beginning, right at the end, or somewhere
No, I
in
have
the
no
middle.
idea.
So, first one you said, sounds a bit plastically, not real. Cardboardy feel, doesn't sound great. That was with your Les Paul, and then with the Tele you went, yeah, I don't like it.
It's going to be the real amp, isn't it?
Which one did you think it was? It was indeed the Nux Amp Academy.
Okay,
so I have to say, the Nux Amp Academy is the cheapest one of the 5 and the one you liked the least.
I'm happy with that.
It's also probably the one with the most stuff on it as well. So it's like, it's the value, you know, this does a reasonable job of lots of different amp sounds, whereas these are all more limited.
But that makes perfect sense to me.
Number 2.
Oh God.
Number 2, you, with your Les Paul, you said it's got no latency. You said there's no latency in either so far. It sounds better. It's not plastically. It's more amp-like. It likes it when you play softly. Has nice dynamics. It could be an amp. That's what you said. And then when you plugged your Telecaster in, you didn't say anything about it. Completely nonplussed. And then right at the very end, you said...
oh God.
It has an unnatural low end. And then you went, they've all got an unnatural low end. So that didn't really help. So was number 2 the Simplifier X... or did I put the Marshall in at number 2?
I don't know, you tell me.
It was the Simplifier X.
Oh,
so number 2 was the Simplifier X.
Yeah. It sounds more like
Number 3.
For God's sake, this
you
is
said,
just...
oh, this is less, with your Les Paul you went, it's less plasticky than the first one, and then you came up with my favourite phrase, you said it's digitally flubby. digitally flubby. Wasn't that from Madagascar?
Yeah,
Isn't that the song, isn't
Madagascar.
it? Anyway, and then you said with the Telecaster, you went, it sounds good, but I don't think it's the real amp, but I could be wrong. And then did you say anything else about number 3? I don't think you did. Your very thing you went, it's either 2, 5 or 6, as long as it's not number 3. So what's number 3? Well, could be the Lion, or had I inserted the real amp at this point? What did you think? I inserted the real amplifier at number 3. So number 3 was the real amplifier.
And I went back and said, did I go back and said, that might be the real amp, didn't I?
It's so I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
So the other two...
I guess the game is up now in the sense of you didn't think number 3 was the winner. So really...
I couldn't tell. There you go.
Actually, you've probably worked it out for yourself now, so let's just fly through the rest of the comments. So number 4, I was surprised. So number 4 was the Lion. You said it's raspy, ugly distortion, ugly overdrive. I can't blame the speaker. I don't like this one. It's got a broken sound to it. I think, in fairness, that the Lion, I actually think probably does a pretty amazing replica of that era of Marshall. But yeah, look, I mean, you can see where I've said it. Me. Maybe, you know, again, and we weren't using the IRs, and I wonder if part of that whole UA thing is the speaker simulation. But there we go. So the Lion didn't come off great, I'm afraid. And that one, sorry, Universal Audio. Now here's an interesting, amazing one. Ultimately, number 5 was the winner. With the Les Paul, you said I like this better. Actually, what did you say with the Lion? Yeah, with the Telecast, you said I don't think this is real. It sounds weak, like a toy. Push, 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 push. That's it.
No!
Sorry, Tor. So number 5, you went, I like this better. It's got the Marshall thing. It's more realistic. So the way it comes through your fingers, still got a little bit of fakeness. Did I say that? Was that with the Les Paul? That was with the Les Paul. So you did think with the Les Paul you weren't convinced. And then with the Telecaster, you went, yeah, I do like that sound. Yeah, I like it. There's a lot of affirmation of liking it. And then, of course, you picked number 5 as the winner.
Yeah,
so
but that's...
fair play, the OG.
Yeah.
Strymon Iridium, like not even, actually without doubt, the oldest product of the whole lot.
Yeah.
What can you say? Strymon, there we go. Massively the conspiracy that secretly Pete is on the Strymon payroll when you look at his pedal board.
Yeah.
But look, well done. Again,
I've got a little thing, a little switch that gives me a little every time I play a Strymon.
Again, one of the power-up modes on the Iridium enables you to switch the cabinet simulation off, so you were just hearing the Punch amp model with the settings as they are.
Bro.
And then finally, you did say the first time round you thought it had more gain than the others. I like this. It sounds so similar. The best comment that you made, which is, I think, sums up Friedman in a nutshell, is more Marshall than Marshall. I mean, that could literally be Marshall's tagline, because it just does. It's Dave's hot rodded take on this kind of amplifier. So it probably is more Marshall than Marshall. So, just to recap there, the real amplifier did not get a look in. It was all down to, is it this one, or this one? I'm not sure.
I would like to point out, I said, is it number 3? It could be number 3 when I played it back again. I did say that.
You did?
You can say that about all of them.
I mean, in fairness, there were really only 2 that you didn't like, the Lion, which surprised me, and the Nuts.
Can I hear them now when I can see?
Of course. Yeah,
please.
It's a great. Yeah,
I'm not going to reel it in, because it is what it is.
That's fine.
It just goes to show.
New X.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Lion.
You know what I mean? When it's got this raspy. It's more old Marshall. Sounds good though.
Iridium. Free. And then the amp.
I mean,
I actually think the Lion might even be the closest one.
No. It's too mid-rangey.
All right, yeah.
Go back to the Iridium.
That's real amp.
Yeah. There's nothing like it either, does it? You know what? Now I'm looking at it. The real amp sounds the best. It really does, though. It does. Go to the real amp. It does sound the best. It does sound the
There you
best.
are.
Blindfold, man. I tell you, anybody who says they can tell this, stick a blindfold on and then just do any blindfold challenge. It's impossible.
I think what it does go to show is you can so see why 4-cable method when you're using products like Quad Cortex or this thing is so popular, because you really can take some very, very small portable emulations, as long as you're going into a valve power station or real cab. I think
I'm upset with myself. I should know what a real amp
I don't think
like.
so, because tube power amps, good speaker. Music Man were doing that 40 years ago, putting solid state preamps in tube power sections,
absolutely.
and they sounded great.
Yeah.
Anyway, look,
it's essentially a pedal.
I will enjoy reading the comments. If you cheated, then have a word with yourself.
Everybody on the comment section would definitely get it right.
But yes, I'm looking forward to that and seeing what you guys all thought and what you preferred. Thank you, Mr. Pete, for being our guinea pig of the day.
We need to get Mick and Dan to do this.
Oh my gosh. It's like 3 hours of my life setting it all up, and another 3 hours to pack it all down. Still,
no, you're just going to walk out.
That's true, yeah. Oz, tidy up. See you later.